This is no longer just a Middle East war story. It is now a story about energy, inflation, shipping, food, political credibility, and how modern war moves straight into everyday life. In less than 3 weeks, the US-Israeli war on Iran has widened into a regional and global economic shock. Iran's leadership has been hit hard, but US intelligence says the regime is still intact. Qatar's Ras Laffan gas hub has suffered extensive damage. Lebanon is being hit harder. Fuel prices are rising. Fertilizer costs are surging. And inside Washington, the administration's own case for war is now under open challenge. The biggest hard development is in Qatar. Missile attacks caused extensive damage at Qatar Energy's Ras Laffan industrial city. Shortly after, Qatari authorities reported a fire. This matters because Qatar had already shut LNG production. And that outage threatens roughly 1/5 of global LNG supply. That is not market nerves. That is real damage at one of the world's most important gas hubs. In the same time, Israel has escalated in Lebanon. Missile strikes hit central Beirut again, destroyed a 10-story building, and struck bridges over the Litani River to disrupt Hezbollah movement. The Lebanon front is no longer a side theater. It is broadening. The biggest political fracture is now in Washington. Tulsi Gabbard told senators Iran's government appears intact, though degraded, and still capable of coordinating attacks through proxies. That matters because it directly undercuts any simplistic claim that Iran's system has already collapsed. At the same hearing, Joe Kent resigned. Kent argued Iran posed no imminent threat. CIA Director John Ratcliffe took the opposite line, saying Iran posed an immediate threat. That is not clarity. That is an administration split over the core justification for war. The Strait of Hormuz is not just an oil route, it is a pressure valve on the global economy. The Iran war has halted shipments enough to send fuel costs soaring, while the crisis is spilling into gas and fertilizer. Asia is the most exposed region because most Hormuz exported energy heads that way. The United States is less exposed physically, but still exposed. Oil is globally priced. If the global market tightens, households feel it anyway. US drivers are paying much more. Gasoline is at $3.79 a gallon, and diesel above $5. Analysts say the pain may persist, even if the conflict cools. Qatar's LNG disruption is a direct threat to global electricity and heating markets. The third hit is LPG and related gas liquids. Gulf exports of propane and butane are disrupted, hitting cooking fuel, heating fuel, agriculture and industrial feedstocks. So this is not just a crude oil story. It is a whole energy system shock. This is where the cost of living angle gets serious. The fertilizer markets are under pressure, and Brazil has sounded the alarm over rising prices and supply stress. Brazil is one of the world's agricultural heavyweights. If fertilizer costs keep climbing, food costs do not stay local. They spread. This is how a war in the Gulf becomes more expensive groceries on the other side of the world. One of the least understood parts of this crisis is the industrial shock. Qatar's gas disruption is also a helium story. Helium is essential for semiconductors, cooling systems, and MRI machines. Aluminium is under pressure too. Gulf energy disruptions hit metal production and transport. These hit factories, hospitals, and supply chains. That is the slower burn of this war. The diplomatic picture is also changing. Reuters reports Trump is frustrated that allies do not want to own this conflict. Many are focused more on damage control than on joining another war coalition. Even countries that share concern are not eager to be dragged in. The core question is whether the administration can contain the blowback. Fuel costs, damaged LNG infrastructure, and alliance stress. Tactical strikes are one thing, strategic control is another, and right now, control looks shaky. This is not just a war map, it is an inflation map, a food map, an energy map, and a credibility map. That is what makes this conflict bigger than a regional military story. It is now hitting the price of living itself.